the last morning for the Fouch-o-matic crew here on the grass-fed homestead, so we're just having a little bit of a casual conversation before you guys take off. First of all, I just want to say again, it's been absolutely delightful having you here.
Thanks so much for opening your home to us. You guys have been awesome.
Thank you. Yeah, absolutely, anytime. So just having you here the last couple of days, it's been a really neat experience for us because not only are you guys homesteaders that understand our lifestyle and we understand yours, you might be a little bit further on your journey with, you know, where we want to go, like exploring the off-grid stuff. We're just not quite there yet, but I think we connect and get each other on
and
those
you're
levels.
further on your journey as far as having great animal systems, which is what we came to see.
I think
that's true, right?
Yeah, I think that it's been interesting to see. You know, I always say people move into their comfort zones, you know, and my comfort zone is, you know, sort of building and a little bit of systems and things, and your comfort zone is definitely animals.
Right.
And so you can really see the manifestation of that on each of the properties. So that's really cool.
Right. The other area in which we connect, though, is you guys have a successful YouTube channel, and ours is still in its smaller stages, but just having other people here that understand what it's like to not only homestead but have that YouTube perspective too has been really neat, because I haven't really been able to interact with anyone on a personal level that has that experience. So it's been really neat for us in that sense too.
Right.
And it's been neat seeing how you guys the behind the scenes look, and there's so much similarity to what it is like for us, how we communicate, how we try to get shots, and how we're trying to compose a story each day. So that's been really neat to be able to witness firsthand.
Right.
It feels very familiar.
Right.
So I was hoping we could maybe just talk a little bit about YouTube. And I think a lot of people that are watching kind of get your homesteading journey and all that, because that's what is being put out there, but maybe a little bit behind the scenes, if you could share with us kind of what impact YouTube has had on your homesteading journey, if there's been any kind of impact, and what that is.
Yeah, it has certainly had an impact. For us, you know, we didn't start doing YouTube the moment that we started homesteading, so we did not. It wasn't part of the equation when we made the decision to go and start our homestead. It very much kind of happened organically in that we were doing some cool stuff. You know, we were making progress here and there, and came up with a couple of solutions that we thought were clever, and thought, well, we should probably share it in some way. Is that accurate? I mean, that's definitely from my perspective, but I guess my point is that it wasn't part of Milo. There's a camera right there. So we don't have documentation of it from day one, and it wasn't sort of part of the plan at the outset.
Well, I would add to that we changed formats. We were blogging right from the outset, and there are photographs documenting the beginning. But YouTube was very accidental for us, and in some ways I think that there's one fantasy world in which I would have known more about YouTube when we started, and I would have been more accomplished at what we were doing when we started, because I never dreamed that people would really watch us. And we've developed skills to be able to present our story more effectively since we started. But I think there's a real authenticity to it. There is a kind of camera in the corner feeling to those early videos, because we didn't have any skill to edit our lives. I mean, I did edit from the beginning, but we didn't have this skill to make ourselves look professional in any way.
Right.
It was a little unrefined.
It was very unrefined, exactly. And we were accidental YouTubers. You know, for us, for me in particular, as the person who holds the camera and does the editing, YouTube has been a free zone, a place where I don't have a lot of expectations, where I can just have fun, where I can just kick up my heels. And my profession is as a writer. And in my professional life as a writer, I'm a little bit more careful, I'm more crafted, I'm more of a professional, of course. And then I take this into YouTube and I just kick up my heels, and all of a sudden people want to see that. People like that. They want us to just be free and kind of funky and not careful, because that actually shows, I think, a level of authenticity that people really crave.
Absolutely. It's not unlike any of our other homestead projects in that we are very much the type that kind of leap first.
We do, totally.
So we just kind of got our toes wet and have been feeling our way through it.
And you asked how YouTube has affected our homesteading journey. And I think there's something special that has happened between me and Nick. We have a show called The Mountain Dream Home, where in the building season every Wednesday we put out what projects Nick has accomplished on that week. And I am not a builder. I sometimes pick up tools alongside Nick, but oftentimes his projects are inaccessible to me because his skill level is so much greater than mine. So I can kind of hang out near him while he does the work. I can hand him this, I can understand what he's doing, but I can't really get in there. But with my camera, I have a way of really engaging with him and being with him at an emotional level that has allowed the project to really feel like ours without me having to suddenly become a super accomplished carpenter.
That's right.
Would you say that's true?
Yeah, absolutely. And we'll go shoulder to shoulder when it's time to just bust out some grunt work, So,
absolutely.
So I really appreciate that when it's time to move, 4 truckloads of gravel into the house, I was not doing that alone. Mm-hmm. And we could depend on a tripod to do Esther's normal job, and then we'd have another back to get the work done. But yeah, I think that if you weren't there with the camera, there would be more separation. And anytime that there is separation of duties or separation of function, you can create distance, and that distance is harmful to that sense of unity and unified cause moving forward. So if it weren't a camera, maybe we'd find another way to stay unified on that track. But I think it's really important that it's really common to separate function between partners, but any opportunity to mix those functions and stay at least in communication about if not every detail, at least the cause moving forward. So I guess YouTube has served that function for us.
What I have found is it holds me so accountable. It's originally, like last year, I was doing a daily vlog style. Justin Rhodes from the AbundantPermaculture.com and in his YouTube channel, Justin Rhodes, he personally challenged me to do a vlog every day for 30 days. And I started that and I just didn't stop all the way until New Year's Eve of that year. So it was 173 days straight. And what I found was, obviously I couldn't just make a video about doing nothing that day, right? Because that's just not interesting.
Today I sat on the couch.
Exactly. That's maybe not what people are tuning in for.
Right.
So it would force me to stay productive and stay busy, and in some cases I would talk about what I'm doing in the future. Okay, well, I did this today and we're going to finish this tomorrow, or we're going to be doing this and this and this, forecasting like the next steps. And then it was like, well, I said it, now I got to do it, right? So there's been this really high level of accountability, and a lot of that comes from my own personal discipline. Obviously, you don't have to be like that, but that's the impact it's had on me.
And you don't live with your YouTube audience,
exactly.
So you have to be able to adjust. But
for sure, and sometimes there's been things like, again, I'll forecast. We're doing XYZ over the next 3 days to finish this project, or there's a natural evolution. Like I just put up this fencing and put the sheep here, and in X amount of time I will be moving them again.
Right.
But I didn't know when I said that 10 other things would go wrong between now and then. So actually that didn't happen when I said it did. There's been some of that for sure. But I really feel like there's just been a much greater sense of accountability to myself. I was wondering if that's something you guys have experienced much? Or?
We have. You know, we've sort of lived on both sides of that. It does provide a sort of a little bit of accountability in that you have to be sure of what you're saying. You know, even for me, when I'm explaining any given project, I make it very clear that I'm no expert on anything. But the things that I do put out there, I want to be sure that at least for myself, that I have good reasons to do them. You know, that I'm very sure of my own decision-making process. So that's been really helpful. But we've also very much taken a stance, I guess, that the homestead comes first, and then we'll let you guys, you know, come in and watch. But we've been pretty careful about not choosing projects or letting, not letting video titles choose projects.
Absolutely.
Or let the YouTube timeline dictate the homestead timeline. But I think it is, we've also benefited from the feedback. There's a lot of feedback that has no benefit whatsoever.
No offense.
But there is a very skilled viewership out there that will chime in and respectfully say, you know what, you might think about on these things. And it's led us in some really helpful directions. So there's definitely been that accountability and sort of sense of community there that has been really helpful.
Us having just started last summer, we definitely experienced what you're just talking about, because we were just coming from the city. I never built anything in my life before moving here. We built our first chicken tractor together, my wife and I, and eventually it led to us building this table that we're sitting at right here, which we need to finish it. But I mean, I would have never thought we'd build a kitchen table,
Right.
So, but I say all that to say, we didn't know anything coming here.
Yeah.
And we knew what was in the books about animal husbandry and gardening and stuff like that. But as far as, building a structure or just a lot of like nitty-gritty details on things. For example, when I was building that sheep shelter outside, the one with the metal siding, I had no plans for it. I just started buying lumber and started making it as I was going.
Right.
And I didn't understand joints. Lap joints and butt joints, and I had no concept of any of this. And I'm like, how do I get this to work? And what I should have done is turn to YouTube, but I didn't have time because I was making a YouTube video. But what I found is I have some excellent carpenters that watch my videos that were like explaining, these are the type of joints, and I had no idea what a Craig jig was.
Craig jig's nice, isn't it?
Absolutely, that's what built this table. That's what from then on we started using it for everything. The brooder, the chicken brooder, so many things. We've been using the Craig jig, and I had no idea. So we've gotten tremendous feedback from our audience, guiding us just on little tips and tricks like that has made such a big impact for us.
Absolutely.
Stella, are you cold? So, in keeping with our topic about feedback from the audience and everything, what impact do you think you're having on the audience? You talked about what they're having on us, but what impact do you think you're having?
We, where we've arrived now after doing this for a couple of years, was it a couple of years?
Yes.
I guess our style has transitioned through that time, and we've tried doing some very detailed instructional, this is how you do it videos. We've tried just telling you know, the daily story, and and I think we've arrived at somewhere in between where we're able to, you know, show that things are possible and that it can be fun, and try to tell a story of our family having fun going out and trying this. And so I think more than anything, people watch us and get you know, a glimpse at a family doing it, and that it's possible. So I think that we provide not just inspiration, but sort of a real life example of a I tend not to use the word success, because that can also be used as a weapon, you know. And I don't like to draw hard lines of what success is and isn't. But you can see on our channel people being happy and doing this and having a good time at it.
And I think on our channel you really see an emphasis on family. We put our kids in everything, you know, they're here right here. And we realized that that was something that when we look at what we've succeeded at, and actually what our original goal was, we changed our lifestyle in order to save our family. Our family was in crisis. We had gotten to the point where it was going to be harder to stay the same than to make the change. And so of all of the projects that we've done, the most important, the most vital, and the most successful are these relationships and the unity of this family.
Absolutely.
And everything else is in service to that. And we thought, well, our YouTube channel should reflect that. And so some people have said now and then, you know, why are your kids and everything? Or I find someone calls us the cheesy, or you know, we show our feelings too much. And we thought, well, you know what, somebody should. There should be somebody on YouTube who's all about being happy and a family together in the context of this adventure and this lifestyle change, but emphasizing those relationships. This matters, and this is our big success.
That's awesome. So guys, Fouch-o-matic Off Grid, if you guys aren't familiar with them, go check out their channel. This is them. This is them on their channel. This is them in real life. Check it out.
Thanks.
Thank you.